Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? Hernan Cias here, host of the Business Bros podcast, where we are here to help you create wealth today and generational wealth tomorrow, along with my co-host,
The insurance bro, James Cias with Pipeline Insurance, where we empower licensed professionals to effectively add insurance to their existing businesses.
Now, I don't know if James is going to hop on camera because when we set this up, I did this as a group Zoom thing.
Wait,
Never done this
hang on.
before.
Echo, 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 echo.
That is what will happen if we turn on the audio for James. So we're not definitely turning on the audio for James, but you got a glimpse of him. He is there. He's going to be talking to you guys on the Facebook to make sure that he gets his conversation.
As per the usual.
But you do get to hear him on audio, so I got to make expressions. When James is talking, maybe I'll just make my the little Muppet look, the little Muppet, like so you look like a puppet, like I'm talking. That's what I'll do. When James is talking, I'll use my hand, so it looks like James is talking, but he's just right here next to me. For those of you watching on the live,
you're too damn funny.
All right, so here's what happened. We had a guest scheduled for today. They couldn't make it for their own specific reasons. So of course, last minute idea. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw this out here on Facebook. I'm gonna see who happens to have any last minute time, and I'm gonna invite some people and see who hops on this group live. And of course, we didn't get anybody to hop on the live, but to be fair, I gave them like 30-minute heads up. So it's not like it was, too much of a last minute. I mean, too much of time to prepare. So
did you? How many invites did you send out? Out of curiosity.
It was only like 15.
Like 15?
Yeah,
okay.
50. So it wasn't.
Okay. So it's not like you just blasted it out to everybody.
I put it on our Facebook, but I tagged like 15 people.
Gotcha.
It wasn't a huge out thing. So maybe if somebody pops on, I'll see them, I'll add them. That'd be kind of cool. But in the meantime, if you guys are on Facebook Live, you want to check it out, feel free to jump in. Go to Hernan Cias on my page. I think James can even share the link if he just grabs it from that post. We'll throw it down here. So if you feel like jumping in on the podcast, by all means, jump in. We're going to make this one
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different. We normally can't do that when we do our normal podcast. We use Sling Studio. So the downside to using Zoom is there's no banners. So I can't put like the Pipeline logo. I can't put like the Business Bros logo. I can't put my name or anything like that. But the cool thing about using Zoom is if you click on the link, register, and hop on while we're live, you get to be part of the show. So go ahead and do that. I would love to hear from you guys. Today's show.
That'll be fun.
Yep. Today's show is going to be talking about the power of podcasting. So over the weekend, I went to a couple podcasting networking events, right? And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, you got all fancy.
Dude, I did. Well, I mean, I put a suit-ish on, but I still had my Business Bros shirt. So James did me the favor. He came over and watched the kids for me. So the wife and I went out and we met with Jared. I forgot Jared's last name, but he has a group called Podcast Movement. And there was a lot of people here in San Diego that were going to social media marketing world. Right. And so there was, and of course, I didn't go to that event, but all the little networking events that happen afterwards, we wanted to stop by and see, meet some people that are in the industry. And it was really cool to meet people who, in Jared's group, Podcast Movement, there's a lot of people who have existing podcasts. And it was kind of cool to be around people who've been in the industry, who've been putting out their own content in their own ways. They all have different kinds of shows. I met a lady, she does a show, Sisters. Forgot the name of the show, but it's Sisters.
From Another Misters?
Yeah, no, it's two sisters that do a podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was like, that's kind of cool. I was like, oh, check it out. I got bros, you got sisters. It works.
It works.
But so I'm meeting with all these different people, and I kind of wanted to get to know why they got into podcasting in the first place and what they've learned from it, afterwards, after doing it for a while. And some of the people I've talked to are just getting started. Some of the people I've met have been on radio before. Some of the people that I've met have just been doing podcasts for a few years now. And so it was really cool to meet these people and get their insight onto what's going on. And so in listening to their stories, I kind of noticed that a lot of them went in thinking one thing and essentially came out doing something else, right? So
what do you mean?
I'll give you our example. When we started the podcast, I initially went in thinking, you know what? Who's the most popular podcaster that I know? Joe Rogan, right? Okay. And Joe Rogan has millions of followers, and he was like at 1,000-something episodes. Maybe it was like 1,200 episodes or something like that. I was like, how fast can we get to 1,000 episodes? Because I figured
that's where the idea of doing this every day came from.
That's where the everyday came from. How fast can I get to 1,000 episodes? And I figured, okay, well, if we do this, we're going to get better at it, A. And then B, we're going to have a ton of followings and everybody's going to want to listen to the show. And then I'm going to sell more houses, right? That was kind of the slow mindset to that, right? That was what I thought when I got into this podcasting thing. What actually happened was a little bit different. James and I sat and we talked about podcasting. We talked about sales. We talked about business, stuff that we've gone through in our own professional world, in our own sphere, right? And nobody really gave a shit. Nobody listened. Mom and dad listened and a few people here and there, but nobody really listened. It was about 60, 70 episodes in and nobody was paying attention to the show. And so, Liam comes in. Liam's my 8-year-old. He was 8 years old at the time. And he says, Dad, if you want people to listen to your show, you got to get influencers on your show. And that opened up the door to not only growing as an audience, but doing something that I didn't I didn't understand before I started the show, but it's probably the most powerful thing that I've learned from podcasting. And that's once I reached out to somebody to be on the show as a guest, they became closer as friends. We started to build a relationship with these people that have been on the show. And it was impressive on like, I rarely get rejected. I rarely hear no when I do my prospecting for the show, which is kind of weird because think about it, guys. Like you guys do prospecting. If you're in business, you prospect almost all day long, every single day. You want to get in front of people and tell them what it is you do, right? You want to be able to go out there and share the opportunity that you have with your potential clients. Any other prospecting thing that I've done in the past, anything, whether it was door knocking, whether it was cold calling, whether it was trying to get my family to come out to sit and watch, a Kayani presentation for a multi-level marketing.
I remember that.
I got a lot of no's. The no would always be, the majority of
no,
all the time. And here's the thing. You talk to any trainer, any coach, right? I went through coaching programs. I've listened to mentors. I listened to sales coaching. They're like, you got to get past the no's. You got to get past the no's. And I understand that. And I understood that if I get past the no's, I get one step closer to yes. And I understood that prospecting was a numbers game. And I understood that after a while, my scripting would get better. My speaking would get better and all those things. But I'm still dealing with the fact that I hear no a lot. Mm-hmm. And that still bothered me.
Hurts your ego.
Hurts your ego. Totally hurts your ego. And I think as a result, I didn't become as great a salesperson as I wanted because so many no's would knock you down, right? And anybody who's been in sales, if you guys are out there in the real estate game, in the insurance game, or whatever industry you're in, if you're not crushing it, it's because you haven't gotten past dealing with no. It still bothers you to some extent. So anyways, we started podcasting. And I reached out to, a couple different people and I was like, hey, I got this podcast. And I was hoping I could get you to be on the show and interview you. Would you be interested? Go at the end of the show. I'll give you the audio because that's all we did at the time. We didn't have video. I'll give you the audio version. You can use it for your own social media feeds, however you like. And surprise, surprise, people said yes.
What?
Like people started to say yes to me more often than not. Almost everybody I asked. And this was early on when I had zero credibility, no name. We had like maybe 30, 40, 50 episodes in.
We really hadn't even started
We
yet.
hadn't really even developed as podcasters, as individuals, as a show. We had no video content. We didn't have a brand. I mean, we didn't even have a logo. It was literally a snapshot of our faces we wrote Business Bros on it, and that's it. That was our initial logo. So people started saying yes. And once I started to hear yes, it got me excited. I was like, holy crap, this is a cool thing. This is better than any prospecting tool I've ever had. And so we started to get another guest and another guest on the show and another guest on the show. And before you knew it, we had so many different guests in the real estate space. I realized real quick that my initial intent of selling real estate was not going to happen through the guest pool in my show. I started to build a real estate audience. Oops, right? But that's okay. We transitioned that attention and we said, okay, look, every person who comes on the show has an insurable interest, right? Either their business needs insurance, their home needs insurance, their auto needs insurance, or they have clients who need insurance. Let's shift our focus onto the insurance game.
So not to interrupt you, but totally interrupting you.
Cool.
These events that you went to over the weekend, you were saying that people had similar stories?
People had similar stories. They went into it intending to do one thing, but develop some of the same skills that I'm getting into that I'm talking about over here, right? Where it became like, I had one lady and I talked to her. Her name was Liz. And they're doing a lot of what we're going to be doing here soon, which is helping people build their podcasts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And, I remember you telling me about that conversation.
And we were having that conversation of like, well, how did you get into it? What do you do? How do you set things up? Like, those types of things. Because I've never done it before, and she's been doing it for a while. So I wanted to make sure everything that I've developed up to this point was like on track, right? It was making sense. Mm-hmm. Good thing it is, right? It is on track. But listening to her, she's like, look, we don't even have a podcast. Like, we bought our podcast equipment 2 years ago, and we've never started our own podcast. She's telling me that her husband co-hosts 2 other podcasts. Mm-hmm. They're not as consistent as anything, but just having that leverage of starting that space, they were able to get contracts for people to help them build their podcast. Now they're bigger in the SEO and web design side. Mm-hmm. So they help people mostly, with that space and help them build the podcast. But it was trippy to hear them I'm helping people do this whole podcast thing. I don't even have my own podcast. And to me, I was like, damn, like I actually do have a podcast. I have social proof that it works. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of people who listen to our show who are like, when I'm talking about putting a podcast together, they're like excited about finding out more information.
Yeah.
This is going to be amazing. Like, my goal is to help you create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow, right? My goal is to help you effectively add insurance into your business. My goal is to help you any possible way I can. To create wealth today means I got to get you in a position where you can have more opportunities to sell your products to people that you want to talk to. Having a podcast allows you to talk to the people that you want to talk to.
Yep.
You're not fishing just for anything that gets on the hook anymore, right? I remember learning strategies like you should wear your real estate badge everywhere you go, so that when you're in a line at Starbucks and somebody says, oh, you work at EXP Realty? You'd be like, yeah, I do actually. Who do you know that needs help buying or selling real estate? And not that that's a bad approach. I mean, you should be talking about what it is you do, right? But it didn't feel natural to me.
Right.
Right? And so doing this whole podcast thing, I've gotten so much better at communicating with people, like being able to have a conversation with somebody. David Meltzer was on the show, and he said something that stuck in my head. He said, you need to be more interested than interesting. And it's a concept that we kind of know, we kind of understand, but we don't implement unless you practice it.
It's that whole people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Exactly.
Right? Like, everybody knows when somebody's trying to sell you something. Mm-hmm. Right? When you call and you're talking to your circle of influence or your friends and family or your whatever you want to call them, your coworkers or your leads or whatever you want to call them, they know you're trying to sell them something. Let's be honest. Right? Yeah. Everybody knows when you're being sold. When I call on a podcast, people are excited because I'm bringing them something of value. I'm giving them additional exposure they wouldn't otherwise have. I'm giving them video content that they can repurpose on their own social media feeds. I'm giving them a space to help elevate their status so they look a little bit stronger, so they look a little bit better, so they look like they're getting more reach, so they look better amongst their circle of influence. It's something that is valuable to them. And so they say yes. Once they're here, we sit down, I get to learn their story, I establish a relationship, I nurture that relationship, I enrich that relationship, and by the end of the podcast, guess what? They know, like, and trust me. That is powerful. That is something that you can use. Now, when I reach out to them, they answer the phone.
They call you back.
They call me back.
They want to be involved.
They want to be involved because we've helped them. We've come bringing value first by providing them a platform to talk about what it is they do. That is the power of podcasting. When you're talking about your clients, that power of podcasting, the ability for you to give them a platform to reach more of an audience, to get some additional content, that's huge value. Now on a personal side, like on the personal development side, I've been able to speak in front of crowds without any nervous feeling.
Yep.
Because I do it every single day. Right? I'm able to articulate what I want to say better than I did before because I'm practicing every single day. I'm developing my sales skills, not just because I'm actually out here doing it. That is a huge part, but I'm learning from every single person that comes on the show what worked and what didn't work for them. I'm not only learning new skills, I'm developing and implementing the new skills and becoming a better person as an individual. I'm being able, everything I've learned and I share with you guys, I'm sharing with you guys through either experience or what I've learned from my guests or what I'm implementing in my businesses. It becomes much more valuable to you as a listener as well as to our guests. That's the power of podcasting. And that is what you're bringing to your client. That is what your personal development is bringing to you. And we haven't even touched the surface on what it does for your business. The Business Bros logo, this little cartoon logo, is now being recognized more and more often. And it doesn't mean that it's being recognized by people that are avid listeners of the show, although that is really cool too. When I bump into somebody who listens to the show, that is super awesome. And I'm thankful for that every single time that it happens. I love it. But what else is happening because of the consistency of putting out information, of putting out the brand, of people seeing the logo, is it becomes recognized amongst people who don't even know what the brand is yet. Because they see it on their friends' social media feeds. They see it on their friends' posts. When I post and tag them and the other people who've been on the show, when I put content out on a regular basis, when they hear something, a message that maybe it's something I said or maybe it's something a guest said that resonated with them and they go and pass it on to somebody else, they're beginning to see the brand that you are putting out or that we are putting out every single day and growing a brand that is trusted, that has value. That's the power of podcasting. If you're in business today and you do not have a podcast, you're missing out. Like there are a number of things that people will tell you. Make sure you post something every day. Make sure you put out valuable content every day. Make sure you're consistently reaching out to your circle of influence. Make sure you stay top of mind. And what does everybody say when you hear that stuff? Okay, cool. How do I do that?
How do I do that?
How do I do that?
Podcasting.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to post. I'm not comfortable behind the camera. I don't have a radio voice. I don't know. I can't. I'm afraid to do anything. That's what we're here for you for. That's why we're here. We're going to help you not step in the same holes we did when we first started. We're going to share with you 400 plus episodes of experience. We're going to share with you all the information that we've developed, we've learned over our career of podcasting with all of you. And I'm tentatively setting the date. I think it's going to be March 16th is going to be when we're going to launch our entire program. And it's going to be a free webinar. So I'm going to have you guys all sign up and check it out. I want you to be part of this. I want you to know, why is podcasting essential? What are the things that you're going to need to do? Let me actually bring it up so I can tell you exactly what it is over here. Okay? All right. Give me a second. Give me a quick second. All right. So when we set up this webinar thing, right, I want to make sure that each and every one of you understands why you need to do this for your business. Beyond that, I want to share with you what it is that you need, right? If you're going to get your podcast started, you need to know what equipment you need. You need to know what software you're going to need. You want to know where to get that particular information. You want to know, like, how do I pick a theme for my podcast, right? There's a lot of things. So I'm going to give you 7 must-haves to start your podcast. There's 7 things that you got to have to make sure that you can start your podcast right off the bat. I'm going to explain to you the essentials of why podcasting is a vital part of your business. And then I'm going to share with you 4 secrets that podcasters don't tell you. Right?
Nice. I'm excited for this.
These are the things that you're going to want to know so that you can take advantage of this. This is something that, this is not a short-term play. Let's be 100% honest. This is not something that you just do one time, 1 month, and that's it. It's over. This is not something that you put money in, you get a direct ROI. This is not what I'm talking about. This is a branding play. This is something long-term. When I'm talking about establishing you as a realtor, look, when we talk to realtors, for example, only because I came from the real estate space, right? If you ever talk to any realtor, any insurance agent, any salesperson in general, any of them who've been in sales for over 10 years and are successful at it, have established a business, they don't generate leads the way the guy who just got into the business does. That guy's door knocking, that guy's cold calling, that guy's doing anything to generate any leads. The guy who's been in business for 10 plus years, 20 years, they don't prospect like that anymore. Guess what? The leads come into them via referrals. Do you know why? Because the guy at the beginning has no circle of influence. He's never established anything yet. He has to build it. He has to establish the relationship, nurture the relationship, bring value to the relationship. And over time, he's going to become the more successful guy where he's added so much value that people know what it is he does. They understand that this guy has a brand as an insurance agent, as a realtor, as whatever. And when they establish that brand, when they're a thought leader in that industry, then when the client thinks of real estate or when they think of insurance or when they think of whatever, they think of you. I want to help you hit the fast forward button on that. You need to become a thought leader. How do you think you become a thought leader? Is by putting out content every single day. How do you become a brand? It's by putting your logo out every single day, by becoming a trusted advisor in your industry every single day, by bringing value every day. But instead of doing it one person at a time, I'm going to show you how to grow that using a podcast to reach a larger audience more often, more regularly, more consistently, so that you can become that referral business faster.
Boom.
But it takes work. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is not the easy button. But I'm gonna give you 2 options. If you're the rookie, right? If you're just getting started, you don't have that much money, you just have a lot of time, I'm gonna give you the coaching program for that.
Power
on what?
Apple juice.
Oh, apple juice. I don't even.
Next to you.
Oh, this apple
That
juice.
one.
Oh, okay, sorry. Lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
All right, so if you're just starting out, if you're just starting out of podcasting, I'm going to give you the ability to get some weekly coaching, to get some one-on-one, to get some Q&A, to get some questions answered, to put you on a path to get your podcast started. And if you're on the other side where you have more money than time, I'm going to give you the ability where we're going to do every single thing for you,
Except actually
host it. Right? I'm going to help you host, though. I'm not going to be behind the camera there with you, but I'm going to help you write a script. I'm going to help you develop the questions. I'm going to help you develop the show themes. I'm going to help you do all that stuff so that you can establish the brand that you want to establish. This is the power of podcasting. What we've created, and I can't say created like we invented it. I'm not saying that. What I'm talking about created is when we created the Business Bros brand, the Business Bros logo, it came from work every single day, a diligent effort. Is there the things you're going to have to do anyways? No matter what business you're in, you're going to have to do prospecting. Lead generation, lead follow-up are the 2 primary things in your business that you have to do anyways. Might as well do it in a fun way. Might as well do it in a way that's establishing a brand at the same time. It's putting you in front of somebody new every single day. That's giving you the reach that you want. That's building your circle of influence. That's establishing you as a thought leader. And you can do it with us. We're going to be here to help you every step of the way. Business Bros. I had to do it.
Business Bros.
So what do you think, Ham?
Sounds pretty good to me. I'm really excited about this webinar you got going on the 16th.
On the 16th. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the 16th.
I just posted it right now. So
damn it, it's happening on the 16th.
Yeah. We're gonna hold your feet to the fire now.
That's cool. I got a few little things that I'm working on to finish that up. But yep, it's going to happen, dude. And dude, I'm just excited to just start helping people like develop their shows. Like I've talked about this on the show itself. Like, my goal is to be rich and famous, right?
Yep.
Rich and famous, and rich, not even in the sense where I just want to buy a bunch of stuff. I'm not really a spender, right? I actually am complete opposite. I don't spend very much at all. The wife and I are actually pretty frugal people. We don't go out and spend very much stuff. It's not because we don't like nice things. Definitely like nice things. It's not really my forte, right? Like, it's not my thing. However, for you to take me more seriously, I need to have larger dollar bills in my pocket, because that tends to be the flashy thing that people pay attention to. I'm going to do the rich thing so that you can see it happen, but then I want the fame, and it's not like Will Smith fame, right? It's not that kind of fame, movie fame. I want to be famous for helping a lot of people achieve their goals, dreams, and ambitions.
Ooh, I like it.
That's what I want to be known for.
I dig it.
That's how I'm going to do it, dude. We're going to do it via podcasting.
That's how it works.
That's how it works, dude. I don't know. You guys maybe can't hear the excitement in my voice, but I am super pumped about this.
This is my excited face.
This is my excited face. Poker face.
All right.
All right. So, ladies and gents, make sure you guys check out the ad information. Actually, there's no information to check out. Make sure you send me a DM. Make sure you send me, I don't know, whatever contact you want, 619-884-4915. Pay attention to the show at Business Bros Pod, because we're going to be dropping all that information. Plus, I got an exclusive, awesome giveaway. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if we came out, we filmed 4 episodes for you. We're going to sit down and do one whole film day. We're going to do 4 episodes for you. We create your entire brand. We create we create your website, your hosting. We have all your prep stuff for a podcast. We create all your branding. We're going to take all that video content and do all your social media stuff for an entire month. If we did everything for you, this is what we call our elite VIP package, right? If I did everything for you for free, would you be interested in that? I bet you would. So soon to come, I'm going to give you details on how you could be one of those candidates that we create a podcast for free. Create the brand. So you guys check out our Instagram, all that branding stuff, all the logos, all the nice web wraps for our videos, creating a logo for you, the design, the blog posting, the transcript writing, the copy, all that stuff. We do it all for you. If you're interested in hearing about that, make sure you guys pay attention. You need to subscribe to any of our platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, at Business Bros Pod, so you guys can get the details as soon as they come out. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.